Hey, yo, this is Dash, and I am out at my Lone Star Grill's cabinet pellet cooker that I call Pauline. It is 29 degrees, and I have some cooking to do today. All right, so today is the Saturday before Super Bowl. Go Birds. So you guys will probably see this towards the end of next week, and I should have on the Eagles hat right now, but it's cold. And my Scully, my knit Eagles hat, I don't want to wear out here while I'm cooking, just because. And today I have 30 wings. Here's our 30. What do you guys think? A salmon fillet. This is simply a whole salmon fillet. 2 legs of lamb. 2 legs of lamb. There's one. I'm gonna put the thicker piece towards the heat, and this one, honestly enough, is not even all the way thawed out. All right, and I'm probably going to cook 2 racks of beef ribs. The beef ribs, but with those things being said, I am getting ready to fire up the Lone Star Grill's pellet cabinet cooker, and we got some work to do. Hey, yo, this is Dash. Get ready. Before I get in too deep, there is someone, and there's a few people who maybe would like to see me use a cooker other than this pellet cooker and the other cookers that I own. I don't know how else to convey this message other than to say it plainly. I cook based upon the orders I have. If the order fits into a smaller cooker, I'll cook with the smaller cooker. If the cook fits into a bigger cooker, I'm cooking with the bigger cooker. If I have an order for 1 brisket, I might not probably come all the way down to the bottom, to my garage to cook. I might just cook on the side of the house and use a Traeger. If I have an order for 1 brisket and, pork shoulder, I might use Vicky, okay? If I have anything bigger than that, I am using the Lone Star Grill's pellet cabinet cooker because it fits the cook. So, will I never use Vicky again? No. When I get a cook that fits it, and right now I'm in my slow barbecue period. So, I'm cooking based off of what I have to cook with. Please be patient. If you're only here to see videos for Vicky, I'm so sorry. I don't have, place an order. Place an order. I'll send it to you with cooking out of Vicky. There's your challenge, sir and ma'am. But anyway, if you guys understand and are willing to put up with me and this, I'm gonna get started. All right, so thank you for attending my TED Talk. All right, so we get this turned on, press the power button. Give it a second for the camera to see. Yep, that says 34 degrees, but it's actually a little cooler. So we're going to press the button to ignite. I'm gonna turn it up to 275. All right, check your pellets. Get these all to the side for a second. All right, we're pretty good, but so if you see my ruler down here, my ruler says that it's about 7.5 inches of pellets left. If you haven't seen that video where I talk about, I installed this ruler so I can see how many pellets or what the depth of the pellets are. Feel free to check out that video. But I'm gonna add some pellets just so I don't have to worry about adding some pellets. Well, I'll get them in there soon. At this point, I'm going to just kind of get my food seasoned, and then once it's seasoned, I'll bring you guys back when I'm going ahead and loading up the smoker. All right, so I'll say I'm back, but I've been out here the whole time. I am ready to start loading up the cooker. I have my beef ribs are seasoned and ready. My wings are seasoned and ready. My lamb and my salmon are going to be going on in a few hours. I'm going to kind of get a head start on cooking the lamb, on the beef ribs and the wings, because they're going to take longer than the lamb and the salmon will. But I'm going to get this open. And I'm going to just be using, I'll say the middle rack, but this is the rack I'm going to be using. And I'm going to start off or get started, and I'm going to use I'm going to put the wings on first. So when I get my wings on the cooker, I'm going to say, no matter which cooker it is, I always put this will be the left wing to the far right side so that the tip is away from the edge of the grate. And I always line them all up. And give me all the grief you want, Victor, in the comments. Yes, I separate my left wings from my right wings. And it doesn't matter if you start, well, to me, it doesn't matter if you start in the front or the back. I'm trying to get these squeezed in just a little bit. Wings, honestly, take up way more room than you think. Again, another reason why I'm not using Vicky today. Nothing personal.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Oh no! Sticky back there. All right, so there's my chicken all laid out, and I could kind of squeeze it in a little bit more, but I really don't have to at this moment. So chicken on. Now the next thing we have is the beef ribs, and time to change gloves. Shout out to Boogie Smoke Shop. He hooked me up with these gloves. He came through. He came through and picked up some wood while he was in town. And he said, basically, he hooked me up with some gloves as a small thank you for me hooking him up with some wood. All right, now mind you, this is half of what I have to cook. This is why I'm using this cooker today. All right, I'm gonna get this in here and let this go. I normally would have a water pan down in the bottom of here, but I really want that extra heat to help with the crispness or the crispening of my wings. So I don't have a water pan in there today. I am debating if I'm going to move the wings or this whole rack down. At some point I might, but for right now, for the next hour, maybe hour and a half, I'm gonna leave these the way that they are. I'll come back and check on them then, and we'll see if I need to move them around. All right, thank you guys. I'll see you in a bit. Well, hello, and welcome back. I'm a little tired. It is currently 5:45 a.m. and it's still only 29 degrees out, but I am back out at the cooker, and I'm gonna show you guys these wings and these ribs and start making my preparations. Probably gonna let them go for a little while longer. I might actually finish the wings before I put the salmon and the lamb on, because the salmon and the lamb should take under 2 hours, and I have to deliver this food. Well, my first delivery is at about noon, and I'm hoping to take the second delivery not too long after. All right. Woo! So I get questions all the time about how smoky this thing is or how much smoke it produces. It produces a lot of smoke, and not like produces smoke in a bad way. It produces smoke in, I want to say the best way possible, but in a fantastic way. All right, let me get you guys in a little closer so you can see what's going on here. I mean, these wings, after an hour and a half, they are looking fantastic. And then the beef ribs. They're also looking great. All right, so at this point, I'm going to put some sauce on my wings and yeah, put some sauce on my wings and then flip them. So you guys, hang tight, get to watch me work. All right, that's a pretty decent angle. Let's move that down a little bit. All right, so I know I say this often and I feel like I need to reiterate it regularly. This is how I do what I do. This is not a how-to video. This is how I do my wings, and this is how I do my ribs or whatever it is I'm cooking that particular day. I'm just kind of showing you my experience and bringing you guys along because, I don't know, sometimes I feel like YouTube and talking it might be my therapy. I mean, not for nothing. All right, I've talked about it before where with chicken wings, I won't say more often than not, but the feathers will be hidden on the chicken. And even though I've gone through these wings and tried to pull the feathers off and out of the wings, the feathers blend in to the wings when they're raw. So you don't actually, or I sometimes can't actually see the feathers until, say it's too late, but until the wings start to cook and the flesh of the wings changes color and the feathers do not. I don't know why I always say wings when I'm talking about feathers when I'm talking about chicken wings in general a lot of times. All right. I don't have a brush out here, unfortunately, so I'm just kind of smear, move that, spread the sauce out just a little bit. And this is one of those you got to do what you got to do moments. I'll say it doesn't look as pretty, or it's not as evenly, but it's getting the job done, and that is what is important. So one of the things people have asked me about this cooker is how well does it hold temperature? It holds temperature fantastically. I won't say the only issue, but one of the things I've noticed, and the glove switch come on, Pinky. My Pinky doesn't want to pull. Pinky didn't want to cooperate. We're not going to worry about it. Flipping the wings over. But as far as holding temperature, this cooker holds temperature fantastically. The only, thing, one of the things I noticed is how many more feathers? One of the things I noticed is higher up in the cooker, of course, away from the fire pot, is going to be cooler. So the temperature where this probe is, which is higher up in the cooker, in order for me to hit the temperature of 250 degrees, which I'm shooting for, I have to turn the cooker temperature up a little higher. The probe that is set for the temperature of the cooker, or the controller, is a little lower in the cooker. And of course, being that it's a little lower, it is going to read a little higher. So I just turn the heat up just a smidge and roll with it. There is, or at least for me in this particular orientation, how I have everything set up, there's about a 25-degree difference between where the probe is down towards the back of the cooker and where this probe is. It's not the end of the world. All right. Let's see, we got one more feather there. And I'm looking at these wings today. I got these wings from Sam's, which I normally get my wings from Sam's, and they had a lot of feathers on them. A lot of feathers. I'm gonna switch hands again. Look, Picky's working again. I'm gonna get some sauce. Actually, I'm not gonna rub the sauce in on the top. I'm just gonna spread it. Well, put it on the wings. Let the heat and the smoke kind of do its thing and spreading the sauce out. I'm taking my time and being intentional with putting the sauce on the wings. I'm not just like, I'm not trying to make a mess. I'm trying to be deliberate in getting the sauce on the wings. And I will check the temperature in the ribs. All right. This back, move this a little further back. Let's see if more heat will get back there. It's getting stuck in that back corner. The 3 pieces here are smaller than this piece here, and it is actually at a lower temperature. All right, I'm going to put these back in here. I'm not really worried about temping the wings just yet. The ribs were all at about 150 degrees. So I'll let this go for another half an hour, 45 minutes, and I'll be back to check on it. I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, so I wanted to show you guys down into the hopper here. I did just move the pellets around just a little bit, try to get some of the pellets that were on the edge, like this edge and this edge that, you know, weren't down or didn't get all the way down in there. But I just wanted to show you what or where the smoker is. It's been running for, actually I can tell exactly how long it's been running. I can use the Fireboard app. This session, 3 hours and 10 minutes. So I was gonna say 2.5 hours, but 3 hours and 10 minutes, and we're down to that amount of pellets. So far, I know people have asked about pellet consumption in the cold. Yes, it uses more pellets. I won't say duh, but all right, I'm gonna check the wings and check my ribs, probably get some sauce on my ribs and just let them go. All right, so I'm back over at the cooker. Just told myself I needed a glove and then I left it. Yes. Oh, let me get you guys. All right. So the wings are looking good. I'm going to temp them in a second just to make sure that they are where I want them to be. But I know that they are just about done. And my beef ribs here also are looking fantastic. Pull back, yes. There's pull back, it's happening. So I'm gonna get some sauce on these guys and get them wrapped up. momentarily, but let's just focus on the wings for right now. Yes, I can look at these and tell that they're crispy. Also, when I was saucing them and kind of rubbing the sauce in a little bit, I could feel that they were getting crispy. Nice and right. Nice and right. So I'm just poking in the wings, kind of in the middle of that flat. And then also I try to hit the bone right by the drum so I can get a read. Like this particular wing is reading 201 degrees right there at the, but also get down in the middle of that flat just to kind of see. And we're all up over and about 180 plus. This is at 197. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take these guys out of here. 185. How do I keep my probes clean? I clean them. I have a, say, alcohol solution, but I have a cleaner I keep out here, and I spray paper towel, keep my probes clean. Let me get a pan, and one of these wings is not like the others. One of these wings is getting in my belly. This looks like a, ooh, this one was way in the back. Oh yeah. Oh. $6.42, and it's my breakfast. You guys can hear this. Oh. Man. Oh, damn it, I missed. I have a 55 gallon. No! A 55 gallon steel drum behind me that I use as a trash can, and I hit the edge. I'm sorry. And not sorry. Alright. Yeah. Alright. This is nice. So nice and crunchy. I'm stalling a little bit because I want to finish this wing, and then I have to move on to the next thing, which is the lamb and the salmon. Let's get these wings out of here. All right, wing removal. So I'm going to take these wings and place them into my pan neatly, and the order is for 30 wings, so we're going to get 30 wings in here, and then we have a couple wings left over for the house. Might end up being breakfast for my wife, since she'll probably be the first one up in the house. Oh, I can feel again the crispiness of these wings from the skin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll make them look nice and pretty. Let's do 6 rows. 5, and that'll give us our 30 wings. So There's our 30. What do you guys think? Wings from Sam's usually come with 18 wings per pack, but I'm not mad. They had more than 18 wings, but I'm gonna take these and get them in the house for us. These beef ribs, I'm gonna get a little bit of sauce on them, let them hang out here for a little bit more, little longer, and then I'm going to get my salmon and my lamb started. All right. I'm gonna get the sauce so I can put some sauce on the ribs, let the sauce set on the ribs for a little bit, then get them wrapped up. I'll be back in a bit. Don't at me in the comments because you don't like barbecue sauce on your ribs. Again, these are how I do my ribs. If you don't like barbecue sauce on your ribs, don't put barbecue sauce on them. All right, I'll see you guys when I'm ready to load the lamb and the salmon.
Meanwhile.
All right, so I'm using the Smokehouse hardwood pellets. I get these from Sam's. It's a 40-pound bag, and I like to put them in once the hopper gets almost completely depleted. And the whole thing is, I really just like to put the bags in, say one bag at a time, but the whole bag in the hopper. So, sure, I could probably fit a little bit more in there, but I'm not gonna worry about it. But there's not that much pellets left in the bag. And obviously before I'm done, I'm gonna empty this bag into the hopper. But there you go. Adding pellets into the hopper. Make sure you check your pellets so that you don't run out of pellets. She's just chugging along. See you guys. All right, so as promised, I am back out at the cooker and I am actually loving the warmth that's coming off of the cooker right now. It feels fantastic. But I'm gonna get this grate out and I'm gonna get my salmon on first. This is simply a whole salmon fillet. Nothing fancy, nothing special. I put it on a piece of foil just to make it easier for me getting the salmon on and off of the cooker. I'm gonna move this here and move this over here a little bit more actually. And I'll get my lamb right here. 2 legs of lamb. There's one. I'm gonna put the thicker piece towards the heat. And this one, honestly enough, is not even all the way thawed out. All right, so lamb, salmon, beef ribs. Let the beef ribs hang out for a little while longer. And I'll say before I forget, but I'm also going to get a probe into my salmon. If you noticed earlier with the chicken wings, I didn't put a probe in there because I knew that I was going to be checking the wings regularly. But the salmon, I know I have to be more vigilant and diligent and check it or temp it so that it doesn't overcook, because that could happen pretty easily. Let's get the grate pushed in and make sure my probe is routed in a means where it's not going to hurt anything. And let's get this closed off. All right, see you in a bit. All right, so right after I got my lamb and my salmon, right before I was about to walk away, I said, oh, let me check these beef ribs. Let me temp them. So I temp them and they're at a decent temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and get them wrapped up, and I'm gonna put them on this side of the cooker so that they can finish in the pan. Okay, this one. I'm not putting anything in the pan. I'm just taking the ribs and putting them in the pan. That's it. So I'm gonna get these wrapped up, covered. Set everybody into the pool. And I'll get these over here. And I'm gonna wrap them up. Pro tip, when you're dealing with barbecue sauce on the top of, like for me with this instance, I put a little nonstick spray on the underside of the aluminum foil so that the foil doesn't stick to the barbecue sauce. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Yeah, you can see kind of the specks there. It's just PAM, the same PAM I would use to spray the cooker, or I use to spray the cooker in between cooks. Stick that back there. And again, just spray the underside of the pan. And I also always put the shiny side down or the dull side up. The dull side leaves less fingerprints. So whenever I'm cooking and having ribs out for folks, I'm gonna keep these separate. These ribs are bigger than these are. So, here's my glove. I'm gonna keep these on this side and close everything back up. I'm gonna monitor my temperature of my salmon via the Fireboard app, and I'll bring you guys back once that salmon is done. It's a me. I don't know why I said that, but anyway, I'm back out at the cooker. It's been an hour. My salmon has been in here for an hour, and we are right. Salmon is looking good. I am going to, I won't say purposely take it out, but I normally pull my salmon at about 135 degrees. This salmon is at about 130. I know that I'm pulling it early and that the person that I'm giving the salmon to is going to be reheating it later. So I want to leave them some headspace, more or less, to be able to, that's going to be hot, to be able to warm the salmon back up. And now, this is the reason why I put the salmon on aluminum foil. I want y'all to watch me do this. Let's put this here, like so, like square. Oh, sorry. I think I hit the camera. All right. Are you watching this highly technical move? Oh. Oh. Right into the pan. All right, so now all I'm going to do is take this little bit of extra foil off of the end, trim it up, and this will be the salmon that I'm going to take and deliver in a little bit. At this point, I'm going to put probe in the beef ribs. Oh, wait. And I'm more or less putting the probes in there so I can get a read of the temperature. But I'll know when they're done by feeling the probes, you know, just how they feel once we get closer to done temperature. My lamb, let me just check it, though I know. Let's check the temperature on the lamb. Yeah, that lamb is still at about 60 degrees, between 55 and 60 degrees. A couple of places where I just probed it. So I know it's, I'm gonna say not near ready, but nothing really going on with that as of yet. But I'll see you guys in a bit. Once the beef ribs, actually looking at the temperature on the beef ribs, they're getting pretty close. So I'll bring you guys back once I pull the beef ribs out, and then we'll monitor the lamb and get the lamb wrapped up and then finished up. All right, so I'm back out at the cooker, and it is time to check on the ribs. This probe, oh yeah, those are, that probe hit a good temperature for me. And let's see where the other one is. This is one. Oh, we're a little lower. So we're gonna let these sit out here for a little longer. These ribs, ooh. Oh, that one feels done. Let's see where that one is. These two ribs feel done. I'm going to take them off and let the other two cook a little longer, so I'm not overcooking one, just to get the doneness that I want from the other. All right. I'm gonna need to insulate my hand here because these ribs are gonna be hot. And actually, I don't really need that pan yet, so we're gonna take that off to the side. I'm gonna put a piece of foil down. Piece of foil down. Transfer the ribs onto the foil. Have here. Oh yeah, smaller ribs are done. And this one, there. Put this one over here. All right. Cover this back up. Let it sit back over here. Put the probe back in it. Oh yeah, those aren't. They're not ready yet. These ready. Out. Put this down on here and get it off the rest. Probe wiped off. This on the lamb in the back. Keep an eye on that for the time being. And I'll be back out here once the ribs are ready or when my lamb is ready to be wrapped. Alrighty, I am still out at Pauline, my cooker. And we've been rolling for a few hours now, but it's time for me to get the lamb off and wrapped up. And I'm going to take the lamb off and take it in the house. I don't know if you can see this now, but I'm in my overalls or coveralls. I was sitting in my car, but my wife took my car out to breakfast with my daughter. So I'm going to take this lamb off, get it in the house and finished. I can go inside and be warm. These ribs have a few minutes more to go. By the time I get the lamb in the house, covered in the house, and I won't say settled, the ribs should be done. They're getting close. All right. And you guys saw what I put in the pan with the lamb? Nothing. Nothing. All I'm gonna do is get some foil, cover up those pans, get them into the oven in the house. I feel like I should be singing It's the Final Countdown. All right. So, got the notification that it hit the temperature I wanted. Now we just double check. Feeling, oh yeah, that one's good. Yeah, that one's good. Yes. Take those there. Oh, that pan is going to be hot. All right. So at this point, here, you know what? Let me show you guys what these ribs look like. Woo! And I want to say nothing spectacular, but nothing out of the ordinary. Beef ribs. Yes. So at this point, I'm gonna let these guys rest for a little bit, and they are gonna be traveling with me a little later. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go back inside the house and finish up the lamb. I'll see you guys inside. All right, welcome back. You are joining me from my kitchen, where it is much warmer than it is outside. Last time I checked, it was like 33 to 35 degrees outside. Let me see, might as well. Oh, 33 degrees. Anyway, I finished the lamb. And the problem was, I forgot the camera outside. Oops, sorry, let me get out of the way so you can see that lamb there. Let's do this and this. There you go. So you can see the lamb, and I am resting it currently. But looking good, looking good. I have to, what do I have to do? I have to, oh, I was gonna let it rest for about an hour, maybe an hour and some change, and then slice it up and get everything together, get it all out of the door. Let me show you guys something. One of those beef ribs, let me just show you my disappointment. When I was getting the beef ribs together, and I didn't trim them today. Normally I trim them, but this one, man, it was half fat. And I know, you know, that is what it is, and sometimes it's just what happens. But I'm glad that was one that I ended up, say, saving for me. But I kind of looked at it and was like, oh, this seems like it's going to be a lot of fat on it. And I put it, I won't say off to the side, but I knew that smallest piece, or that piece there, was going to be one that I wanted to have myself. And I'm glad I did, because I got a false doneness reading from the fat. So just a PSA, you know, there really isn't a way to, I mean, unless you aggressively trim your ribs, and I just didn't want to, I don't like trimming the ribs because it deters from the presentation sometimes. But if I were to have trimmed the ribs, I would have discovered the fat before I cooked it, and would have known that, all right, this rack or particular portion of ribs is just going to be eaten by us here. But the one thing that I'll say, it gave me a false doneness feeling, because the fat renders at a lower temperature, and it was warmer than the rest, than the muscle, the meat. And it also, you know, it poked just fine. So anyway, I wouldn't say I'll bring you guys back when I slice up the lamb, but I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I think this video is probably long enough as is. But what I will do is I will show you guys me slicing up the lamb in a separate video. So stay tuned. Thanks again, as always, for watching. I'll see you next time.
More butter, baby.